All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And peace, love, and salutations to the Akim that's out there laboring, that's out the hopeful elect, that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I pretty much want to show you an exchange that I received from pretty much a coworker. Okay, he's a Jake. Pretty much of the tribe of Benjamin. You know, and he's a big MAGA guy. Okay, so now we were talking about the discussion of the mass deportation and how it's hurting American farmers. And this is his response. Okay, he says, America, white liberals are the worst. If you don't work, you don't eat. I go to Pennsylvania, big farmland, technology machines do the picking. Self checkout, they really don't need people. Self driving, we're in good shape, not too far from retirement. So this individual feels like, he's all in for Babylon. Okay. He pretty much thinks he's gonna ride off into the sunset. And he's an individual that's pretty much been successful at dealing with the ways of America. I guess following all the rules, so to speak. He's actually the only person that I've seen with a perfect credit score. He has a perfect credit score of 850. But he really has trust in his place, and this man actually is an excellent candidate for taking that MOTB. Now, the topic of discussion was how the farms are closing down. So he sent me this reply and he sent me this video. So this is his answer for the replacement of the people. And there's no way that this new technology that's out there is going to make up for the loss of manual labor. So without any further ado, let me show you a video that he has sent me to go along with this comment. Now, mind you, it seems like there's more oranges on the ground than there is even in that little tarp catch that it's in. But this man, he's pretty much a tech geek. He pretty much trusts in his place. He always has the latest gadgets and what have you. Um, but this man, it pretty much is deceived. You see. And I replied to him as I was like, well, this will be the answer for um, Kill Gates and his idea of mass production of GMO products. But to the average white farmer or organic that's growing organically, um, this is not an option for him because he cannot be able to afford machines like this. And now there was another one that showed where it's actually picking. The machine is actually hand picking, so-called hand picking from the trees, the crops, as it's going down, riding down the grove. But this is pretty much wishful thinking, and this man pretty much thinks that this place has eternity to figure this thing out. You see, he thinks this is the wave of the future, but he doesn't understand that the hourglass is pretty much run out, and this man actually is has a bound that he can't pass, and this will never come into fruition the way that he sees it. You see, but this is how you're gonna have a lot of people, pretty much with their pants down. You got pretty much MAGA supporters that are waking up to this man and what he's doing to the economy. But you got people like this individual. He's an ex-marine. I might mention, um, and he's all gone whole for the mass deportation. You see? Well, and meanwhile, he was pretty much came here as an immigrant himself. But you see how the pride and the mindset has poisoned the people, man. You know? And then when you have a well-functioning kingdom, there is always a levels of hierarchy. You know, you got to have the lower level people to do the remedial tasks, man. Okay, this is the case that's gonna happen when we're in the kingdom. Okay, all right. What are you gonna have? You're gonna have just a whole bunch of class of rich people, and who's gonna do the laboring for the serving? Who's gonna be doing the serving? You see, you know, everybody wants to pretty much sit in the king's throne. Okay, but the work and effort that needs to put in, you know, he doesn't consider. You see? Okay, so this individual right now, he's primed for ones that's going to be the one to take the chip because he feels like he has a lot to lose, man. You know? Okay? This is why the Lord always keeps his men even killed, man. You know, he doesn't make us poor, but nor does he make us rich. You know? So pretty much, you know, we rather pretty much fall off the curb than to fall off a bridge. You know? Okay? But let me get some precepts to go along with this nonsense. But real quick though, I put in GPT chat concerning America's farmland and how it's declining, and I'm going to get to the point. Final thoughts: long-term decline. America has lost vast numbers of farmlands over the past 5 years, particularly hurting small and minority-owned operations. Current pressures, bankruptcy figures, policy swings, labor shortages, and consolidation are removing farms now, not just historically. The underlying risks remain severe. Without structural support, successful planning, or equitable policies, the trend towards fewer, larger operations will likely continue. Towards fewer, larger operations are likely to continue. Let me see what else it comes up with. Let's see. Bear with me, Akim. Regional and state level trends in farmland bankruptcies. Nationwide snapshot, Chapter 12 filings. In 2024, Chapter 12 farm bankruptcies surged 55%, with 216 filings ending in a four-year decline. By region, the Midwest recorded the highest with 71 filings, which is a plus of 69%. And then the Southeast had 62 filings, while the Southwest dropped 14%. Okay? And it's pretty much just the gist of the declining of these farms. And we know that Bill Gates pretty much purchased a lot of this farmland. So now his idea of mass production will be definitely GMOs, man. Okay? You know, and this guy also is a health fanatic, though. So pretty much his options will be running out. And he thinks that he's going to go to get the best of the best of the worst of the best of the worst of any, you know, produce from a machine like that. He's sadly mistaken, man. You know? Okay? But let's get the scriptures. Okay? Real quick, let's go to Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And what's this man's covering? This man's covering is always immersed in politics, man. Okay? Always sending me videos of, you know, Republicans going after Democrats, and he's caught up in that whole fiasco of, you know, and we also know that it's pretty much, there's two sides to the same coin at the end of the day, man. You know, good cop and bad cop, but they all work in tandem to reach a certain goal, man. Okay, so here it is now that we're in, these last days, and we're seeing now how the policies will pretty much strip you of your liberties, man. Okay, but the previous administration had to create, the problem. Okay, you see, okay, he had the problem, a problem reaction solution, Okay, so pretty much now we're at this point now to where people are wanting peace and safety. Okay, but we know that the scriptures speak about sudden destruction shall come upon them, man. Okay, all right. But this man is pretty much fully immersed in this place, and there's never mentioned anything spiritual with this man. Okay, everything is carnal. Everything is what he can see with the carnal eye. Everything is what he can pretty much touch, feel, taste. Okay, right? And it says that walk and go down to Egypt, and that have not asked in my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. Okay, and that's what he does. He strengthens himself in the strength of Pharaoh. All right. He feels like he plays all the rules. He did the thing the right way. He came over here as an immigrant, or his family came over here as immigrants, and he has made himself pretty much successful outside the workplace. He boasts about certain investments that he has made, and he feels like he's in a good case. You see? Okay? But he's strengthening himself in the strength of Pharaoh, okay? And he's trusting in the shadow of Egypt, okay? And he doesn't realize that the sun is setting on this place, man. All the other nations are lining themselves up contrary to this place, okay? And this place pretty much, in which I didn't mention before, is that these countries that he has, DJ Trump has pretty much put a heavy tariff on, are not sending goods, man. They're suspending sending goods here, man. Okay, so we're gonna start to see skyrocketing prices soon, man. Okay, certain things that were pretty much at our disposal for purchase and consumption is gonna be pretty much scarce now, man. Okay, you see, all right. So it says, right? Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's what's going to happen to this individual. Okay? Okay? The strength of Pharaoh is going to be his shame, because the strength of Pharaoh is going to be broken. It's going to fail, man. Okay? This man is headed towards dire straits, man. Okay? You see? The scriptures speak about him not knowing from where the trouble have arisen, man. Okay? Because this man is so dead set on accomplishing what he wants to accomplish, and he's not seeing that pretty much the people that eat that bread have deceived thee, and he's being undermined, man, in a major way. You see? Okay? But it says that the trust in the shadow of Egypt shall be your confusion. And this is what's going to have people perplexed, man. Perplexity is going to increase in the earth, man, because people don't know what the hell is going on, man. Okay? You see? These people, just like this individual here, he drinks his organic shake and watch Fox News, and he thinks he knows everything, man. Okay? And this man doesn't really check things out and see what things for the way they are, man. Because you have certain MAGA supporters that are all waking up to what this man is doing, man. But he's one of these ones that are blind to the bitter end, man. Okay? You see? You got guys that are set up like this, man. Okay? And the Lord is the one that's bringing us upon these people, man. Okay? And that time is coming, man, to when, pretty much he's all for the deployment of these troops in these cities. And he's one that's being deceived and thinking that's the problem, man. Okay? You see? All right? But that just the mass deportation and pretty much the farmers not being able to have workers on their land, that's just all part of the multifaceted decline of this place, man. Okay? Because a lot of these things that are happening, man, there's multiple things that's happening, and everything is going to come to one big bowl of confusion for the people, man. Okay? You see? So it's not going to be one sector of anything, and this is going to be a snowball effect, man. Okay? You see? Bad policies is what's putting this place, pretty much setting this place in a position of difficulty, man, which is ultimately going to lead to its demise, man. Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 29. The whole city shall flee for the noise of the horsemen and bowmen. They shall go into the thickets and climb upon the rocks. Every city shall be forsaken, and not a man dwell therein, man. And this is what's happened. This is what's going to happen, man. Okay? All right? Because this man is pretty much about to go fully off or unhinged, man. Okay? All right? Things have to get done quickly for this man, for him to be able to survive, man. And he's going to take the drastic measures to do so, man. So therefore, he's going to have to come up against the people, man. Okay? So this man's idea of running off into the sunset, man, is going to be to his destruction, man. Okay? And it says, verse 30, and when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clothest thyself with crimson, and though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, and though thou rentest thy face with painting, in vain shall thou make thyself fair. All right, so you're trying to be like him and put on a suit and tie and what have you, and you know, you want to have the thinking like him, you want to act like him, you don't want to emulate him, you want to pretty much idolize this man, okay, when he's a nobody, okay, all right, you're making yourself fair in vain, man, okay, right? It says, thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life. You see that? Okay, and pretty much that's what's gonna happen, man. Okay, they're gonna pretty much roll on you jakes, man. Okay, because at the end of the day, you are going to be the common denominator in their warped mind. The issue with the problem with this place, man. You see? Okay, so your lover, right, will despise thee, man. Okay, who you in love with and who you want to emulate and who you want to strive to be like, man. Okay, trying to fit in society, man. Okay, a society that's failing and a society that despises you, man. Okay, all right. It's very imperative to understand that Jake has to realize, man, that the enemy hates their guts, man, and then you can move accordingly from there, man. You see? Okay, but it says, verse 31, for I have heard a voice as of a woman in travail, and the anguish of her as of her that bringeth forth her first child. Right? A woman is bringing forth her first child, right? The voice of the daughter of Zion, okay? Speaking about the whole nation, okay? That bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hands, saying, woe is me now, for my soul is wearied because of murderers. You see? Okay? And the people are going to understand, all right? This is all pretty much a situation where you're being sold a false dream, man. And many people are pretty much waking up to this place being a nightmare. Pretty much people are knowing that the iron gates are coming down, okay? They're being replaced with the white picket fence, man. Okay? The aspirations of the white picket fence are of no more, man. Okay? People are not gonna be able to achieve that feat, man, as a whole. You see? Okay? Because why? It's because of the things that are pretty much are coming to this place, man. Okay? The Lord's bringing plagues upon this place, man. Misery. Okay? Uncomfortability. Okay? All right? And the catalyst is his whipping stick, man. Esau Edom, man. Okay? You see? Right? And you people pretty much are going to be in dire straits, man. Okay? Him in particular, because he thinks that this man is his friend. Okay? You see? And he's not seeing how this man's countenance has been changed, man. Okay? And it's only going to get worse, man. But people are just going to be blinded to when it's too late, man. You know? And, everybody has to play their part in this truth, man. You know, in the book of life. You know, and pretty much, man, this man's lot, he's too far gone to rationalize anything, man. You know, he's all gun-ho for the new technology that this man wants to bring out, man. You know, he's all for the whole AI thing. Okay? You see? And he's pretty much a prime candidate for the MOTB, man. But pretty much, man, you know, he sends me a lot of material, which a lot of it is pretty much nonsense. But I'm gonna, you know, start using him as an example, you know, and showing you how gone the people are, man, in this place, man. Okay, and he's not looking at it at he's only looking at it through a tunnel vision perspective, man. Okay, you see, which a lot of Edomites do, man, and this is what he's doing, you know. But pretty much I'm gonna end it there, and I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Shalom.